Today what we're going to go over is the application of these carbide pins or plugs. What you will need is, when using the pins, you'll need the appropriate drill bit, which is included with the pins, a size 15 drill bit. If you choose to use the plugs, you'll need a 17/64 drill bit. You'll also need a center punch to mark where the pins will be located. You'll need a hammer that's softened, because these pins are very hard. They'll create a great deal of damage to your tools and to your anvil, so it's important to have a hammer that is not hardened. You're going to want to modify your shoe to the horse's hoof before applying the pins, because heating and cooling will change the hardness of those pins. Define where you're going to put the pins or plugs, and then using the center punch, we'll mark the spots. I've put the prick punch mark halfway between the end of the crease and the end of the shoe. This will allow the hoof to come down, glide a little bit before the traction device takes hold of the ground. When I prick punch the toe for the pins, I'm going to set those back from the edge of the shoe a little bit to allow some breakover. And these pins can be adjusted depending on the horse's conformation and way of going. It can be put at an angle, they can be put back between the first and second nail hole. You can define where these go. Traditionally we'll use a plug in the heels and pins in the toe, though that again is dependent on the environment, the way the horse goes, and what the horse is doing. So at this point I have the marks made with the prick punch. I'm going to go to the drill press, drill the holes, and then come back to the anvil and apply those pins and plugs. Alright, I've used a size 15 drill bit for the pins, and now I'll change it to a 17/64 drill bit for the plugs. On this shoe I'm going to put pins, which is a size 15 drill bit here, and I'm going to put those pins just before my stud holes. These will be drilled and tapped for studs. This pin will protect this tapped hole from wear and also give the horse a slight traction. Say the horse is going from the stall to an indoor arena and there's a pavement area in between that tends to be slippery. This will give the horse a degree of traction. The benefit of this drill bit is that it gives you the 5/16 inch hole to accommodate the threads, but it also countersinks the top of the hole. And the pins will be placed in these, which are a number 15 drill bit. And we'll go to the anvil and put those pins and plugs in. We want to make sure that we use a hammer that's not hardened, it's annealed. We'll place those pins in. The pins are tapered, the plugs are tapered. Place them in the hole. Give it a direct hit, but we want the stud sticking up and not flush with the bottom of the hole. I've put the pins in this shoe. It's an example that you can put them in any horseshoe to allow the horse some extra traction on rough terrain, for venting, for walking on slippery ground. With the standard shoe, you can see that I've applied traction device. And these plugs and pins are tapered. This can be driven a little bit further, but you do not want to bottom it out. It's essential to leave a little bit up to allow traction for that horse. It also increases the length of life of the shoe with the carbide pins. And on this shoe I've put pins right before the stud holes. Those will be tapped for the application of screw-in studs. This shoe has pins in the toe, plugs in the heels. One can move these wherever you want to benefit the horse and the rider, give the horse some extra traction and security in slippery going.